Hello and welcome, my Piscean collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Welcome to your timeless Path of True Love read, recorded in February 2021. I'm your reader, Angelo, Lyons, Mal for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Productions. Pisces Moon, the Archangel of Lyons, Angelo Lyons, but you can call me Mal. Hi, my fish family. How you doing? I know you got 2 in a row, right? I just put out, just finished the full moon reads, full moon to new moon reads, new moon in Pisces coming up in a little bit, and happy to be finishing off this timeless True Love series for you. Now, just a little quick business for Drawing the Circle production, just so you know. Tomorrow, if all goes well, my book, Words of Grace, is being released on Kindle. Yay! It's my first Kindle. A boy always remembers his first and his last. It's so corny. But it's true. It's definitely true. I'm very, very excited for that. So if you're following me on social media, I'll be on blast. Today's been a really, really good day. Finishing up the edits, just waiting for Amazon to clear it. You know, all the bank stuff and all the paperwork stuff all seems to be in order. So it's merely a matter of time until launch it on a Virgo full moon. When I am a Virgo with Pisces moon. Kind of psyched about that. So check it out when it comes. It's really good. The reviews have been glowing and I'm just thrilled. That also being said, I am doing Facebook tarot parties, right, on my Drawing the Circle Productions Facebook page, paid event. I got Zoom, right? I got the Pro, Zoom Pro, so we can record the parties. 10 participants each, mostly women, so far only women and me in the room. We've had a cocktail party, right? We had drinkies, we did pajama parties, and it's a very supportive, lovely environment. And if you're interested, there are links in the description box, and soon the links for the ebook will be up there too, and I'm very excited. Anyway, that being said, let's get down to business with this read, shall we? This is a timeless read. All of my relationship-based reads, Twin Flame, Soulmate, True Love, Path of True Love, any of that, those are timeless. Because I watched a bunch of them from like a few years ago, and I was like, this is as classic now to me in some cases, as well as other people that I know. They weren't going through it then, they're going through it now. I'm like, wow, okay. So I went back and I edited them, and they're all timeless now. Not all of them have extended reads, obviously, but moving forward, all of my Soulmate reads and the Path of True Love will have an extended reading, and there is one for this on Vimeo.com. Links in the description box, blah, blah, blah. Let's just get down to business. I've been working. I've been working a lot, and I'm only doing the Pisces video, this and the extended, for the day, and then I'm going back to work to get the book ready to launch. So let's do this. Let's have some fun with this. Standard YouTube rules apply. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, right? Check your other signs for other information. Path of True Love is the hero's journey, the healer's journey, your spiritual path, your healing path, your artist's way, whatever you want to call it, through the lenses of your relationships. Are these readings always romantic sexual? No, that's why I do the romantic soulmate reads for those. So we know for sure that's the tea going on there, but this could be, right? Could be any relationship, right? Because it's you becoming true love. It's your healing path, right? It's you realizing, making real for yourself the divine love at your core, extending it into the extremities of your being and into your relationships. Not the easiest thing, certainly, as you will see. We are doing a 12-card spread. 2 of these Carolyn Mace Archetype cards, one for you and one for the person crossing your path on the Path of True Love, so why wouldn't we layer on top of that a Celtic Cross spread? And then in the extended, I don't know if you can see over here, that's just one stack of divination tools. I got the Kuan Yin Oracle, Blue Angel Oracle, of course the Macan deck. Yes, there's a lot that's going to hit the table there. So it's a clarifying storm in the extended readings, and I will say a bunch of times what didn't seem so much like a romantic sexual read in YouTube in the extended was, and very much so in a few cases. So let's get up in this gig. All I can ask of anybody watching my readings, as I'm saying this now every time, all I can ask from anybody, of course, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, but both feet on the floor if you can, and focus on your breath if you will, so that you will be here now and be able to really feel what resonates. I will do the same. You'll hear me say, breathe, right? If you're new, breathe. That's for me, but you know, if you want to breathe along too, it just clears the field so you can really receive what's there to be heard. Not just what I'm saying, but what you hear and inside yourself too. right, my Piscean, my fish family? Let's do this, please. Take a nice deep breath. Oh, yes, and there, release the hounds. Open the floodgates. Here we go. Woo! Wow, Piscean tsunami. My collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, the ascended masters of true love, and the higher selves of all involved, perhaps myself included, because I am a Pisces moon and I have stopped trying to pull myself out of these readings. It doesn't work. So please, all of you, one card in clarity to represent the Piscean collective sun, moon, rising, Venus, sun, watching this video, receiving this read. Could be the cross watcher too. Those energies tend to pop back and forth. So take it as it resonates, please. What is the dominant archetype? The soul power being alchemized from lead to gold, toxic to healthy for the Piscean collective sun, moon, rising, Venus signs. Watching this video, timeless, but being recorded in February, as I said. And you have the Addict archetype. Womp womp. Well, let's start with something triggery. Now, the thing is that this is already in the title, so I know you already know this, right? So let me just say, you can have an archetype for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And on the path of true love, really nothing quite like the path of true love to make you face what pain inside of yourself that you are medicating, because all addiction comes down to pain, stuff we don't want to deal with physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, right? So painful, so we seek to numb ourselves or distract ourselves in some way. I mean, at this point, phones are addictive. Ken Key's Handbook to Higher Consciousness. Is this going to come up every single time I read this card, Ken? He's like, talk about my book. He said Ken Key's, K-E-Y-E-S. Great book, Handbook for Higher Consciousness. Came out, I believe, in the 80s. It's when I read it, at least. And addiction is a preference that, if not met, induces suffering. That's paraphrase, right? So a preference. Well, I prefer to have coffee in the morning. No. If I don't have coffee in the morning, you know what I'm saying? It's like that is an addiction, right? Because others will be suffering most likely, except I live alone. So I'm going to read this to you, right? So we all have that, right? Some people are addicted to being right. And when they're not, they go through withdrawal, right? So take this as it resonates, because you might be in the light aspect of this, not the shadow. The shadow is the triggery stuff, right? Stuff you don't want to look at. The lead, the toxic stuff, that even if you do know it, you don't want anybody to know about it, right? This is a reading. Nobody knows about this but you and I. The light is what you're shooting for, and actually what the whole path of true love is about. This is about your own personal alchemy, regardless of what the other person does. That's the path of true love. It takes a warrior's path. The shadow attribute of the addict, however, compromises integrity and honesty, allows an addictive pattern to have authority over your inner spirit. Now, people struggle with that every single day. That doesn't mean they're full-blown addicts, right? But to really challenge that, some people are addicted to money, that they will let all sorts of things compromise their honesty and their integrity. Look what people do for money, right? How is that not an addiction? It may not, well, it is a physical addiction. What are you going to do without it, right? Eat grass outside? I have no idea. The light attribute helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior, and that is somebody who's faced their addictions. And I have a feeling if you're watching my channel, you're more in the light, because I know the people who subscribe and come to my channel and I work with and integrate with, whatever, hang out with on Facebook and our Facebook group, the Mark Angelo Lyons Mel for short Facebook group. A lot of us are veterans of the spiritual path, but we're like a little bit older, so we've seen. I mean, I lived through the 80s. I watched brilliant people go down the tubes. You know, in your face like that, it'll shift you. So I did a lot of work on my addictions, but not just the externals. Right, food's an external addiction, but you got to eat, right? So it's really not about the form. It's about what's going on inside. So let's see who crosses your path, because on the path of true love, this could easily be talking about a codependent deal here. The force, ego wounds, abuse, neglect, codependence, and loss. Most times people get addicted in relationship because they have the wounds of loss and neglect. Right? They're hungry, the chaser, right? But if you have done this dance before and are aware of it, then you are really maybe confronting this in somebody else. Ooh, vampire at the bottom of the deck. Let's see. Let's let that one go around again. I didn't ask for it yet. I have to say the prayer first. Breathe. Yeah, if you're still here for this reading, you're in. Here we go. The addict off. No thanks. Swipe left. Hard pass. My collective pantheons, please, who crosses the path? for this addict on the path of true love. I can feel this, my collective pantheons. Who is it that crosses the path of this Piscean collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus? I'm watching this reading, receiving this video. I just totally switched that around. Please, what is the archetype of the person, most dominant archetype crossing their path on the path of true love? And the teacher. See, now already I'm a Pisces. I don't really consider myself an addict. Like, I just don't. I don't feel that vibe in me, but I'm very, 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 very good at confronting addictive behavior in myself and in others. And sometimes confronting it is like, I gotta go. And you're gone, right? But I'm also a teacher. See, this is where the intuitive stuff comes. And again, on the path of true love, there can be a lot of mirroring, right? Like, nobody owns the archetype, right? So the teacher, now you know the shadow teacher. If you don't eat your meat, how are you going to have your pudding, right? Manipulating or abusing students, teaching negative traits and destructive skills. But keep in mind that the teacher archetype need not be a literal standing in front of a blackboard with a curriculum, right, waiting for the bell to ring so she can go have a drink. You know what I mean? It's not that kind of teacher. Always could be. That's the shadow teacher. This could be someone who teaches by example, right? Who is instructing people, right? Instructor, facilitator, to make simple. These are words. Think of the soul power, not the occupation. The light attribute, ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom. So look, I can relate more to this one than this one. This is where the intuitive part comes in, and that's why we're going to layer cards on top of it, right? Because if I'm dealing with another Pisces, I might be the cross watcher, right? It's totally possible. Totally possible. And that's general reads for you. That's why if you want to book me, just find me on social media. I've got Zoom now. I've got Skype. Facebook video call is the best quality I've dealt with so far, I think. It's easier too, and you can just Facebook pay me right there. Please take a nice deep breath. Info in the description box. So let's get our Daughters of the Moon Tarot here on the table. A Celtic Cross spread, because I'm in. I want to see what this is about. I always do, no matter what sign I'm reading. But this feels personal. Please take a nice deep breath. My beloved goddesses of water and the sign of Pisces, please, 3 cards in clarity. You told me this morning, I know. Please, 3 cards, 10 cards. 10 cards in clarity. We're going to do a Celtic Cross spread for the Piscean collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Watching this video, receiving this reading, possibly giving this reading, please. At least I'm real, right? Shit's real. Thank you, Molly, Real Housewives of Tarot. Fucking love her. Please, let's do these one at a time, face down, and then we'll turn them over. Let's start. What is the card that covers this addict archetype on the Piscean's path of true love? What about this teacher? What's going on there? These cards represent heart, throat, third eye, and crown dynamic, the yin energy, the internal stuff. Better to know that than just what's going on the outside. We do that in the extended because I gotta leave something for the extended. What is at the core of this, right? The foundation that both of them are going through, perhaps what neither one of them are aware of, sort of subconscious influence, indication of soul contract, please. What is behind them? The Piscean, not necessarily the one that crosses their path. What crowns? Sort of like hovering, may come into being, may not, but probably will. We'll see. What crowns them on the path for my lovely fishy family, Piscean collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign? What is before them on the path, just down the road? What is the lesson the gods would have them learn? The gods, the angels, the universe, the path itself. What does it want them to learn? How does this feel from the outside looking in? Just from a horizontal, intuitive point of view, not from above, horizontal, like that feels this way, that feels that way. What is the destiny that can be hewn from fate on the hero's journey aspect of the path of true love? Their hopes and fears, right? What they are given and what they do with it. Do they suffer their fate? How do they not suffer their fate? How do they manifest their destiny no matter what's going on here? And most probable outcome for this timeline of this lifetime for the Piscean collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading, an addict and a teacher. Most probable outcome, just leave it in my hand, please, and we're done. Those are all the cards that are hitting the table, so let's start flipping. Okay. So here's the thing, Pisces, you got the addict archetype with the Two of Swords. Now think of that inside yourself, heart, throat, third eye, crown. In this deck, it's called analysis. So it's not so much indecision, but it is that process of strategy, of looking at things from different sides. Now, I've never fenced myself, nor have I had anything fenced. As a matter of fact, that's an old word, isn't it? Just get the ring fenced, I gotta get it fenced, man. But it is a strategery thing, right? Like chess, but a bit more immediate, right? A little bit more on your feet, right? You can take time to figure out your next chess move, hit the little buzzer thingy. Jodie Foster flashback. But this is more immediate. So this feels immediate. This feels like you're thinking on your feet here, and you're gathering as much information as you can intellectually, trying to see things from different points of view. But no movement forward, just that, you know, the Two of Swords, right? Doesn't mean you're blind. In this deck, you're not blindfolded. You're seeing clearly, but you're trying to see from different perspectives. This is what I mean about that addict archetype, right? Being aware, confronting addictions. This teacher has the Scorpio card. Now, I am not saying that Scorpios are addicts. No, why would I say that? I wouldn't, because they'd stab me in the head, right, with their stinger. No thanks, right, in the name of the Father. I used to be Catholic. Not anymore. This is really saying that what you're feeling from them is deep, hidden stuff. Now, let's be clear. That's the underworld. This is Hecate. One of my goddesses for sure, my whole life. The crone of cups. So that would be the Queen of Cups in the traditional tarot, the Scorpio card. So there are hidden influences going on here. I mean, everybody's got hidden influences. But how this feels, like with this person, there is something deep and there is something powerful. And I could see how this could be addictive. Right? If it's that mysterious, ooh, there's something going on there. I don't know what it is, right? But I want to know. Now, by the way, the three words usually associated with the 8th house, Scorpio, money, sex, and power. Carolyn May says it better. She says other people's resources, which is a good way to think. It's a nice way of saying it, right? Because what are you going to do? Eat money? Right? There has to be that give and take, right? You have to exchange it for something, other people's resources. Racehorses, never mind. What's going on at the core here? Yeah, I feel like you two, whoever this is, whether it's sexual or romantic or not, the two of you are really experiencing the Four of Cups on the inner, and neither one of you are aware that you're both kind of sad, right? Now, whether this is depression or boredom or anywhere in between, because Four of Cups can be very meh. But if we've got an addictive pattern here, this is probably what's being avoided. Now, I will tell you something, Pisces, since you understand water, you can hold a beach ball under the water for a little while, but you can't forever. Wonderful movie, Debbie Ford, bless and rest her soul. The Shadow Effect. If you can find it free, or if you can find it, get it. It's really, really good. It's a great intro. Very well done. High production value. She's no longer with us, Debbie Ford, but brilliant Hay House author. I think her work truly was pivotal for me. Just watching the video. I mean, I knew her other work, but it was so visual. And they have this Olympic-sized swimming pool, and this woman in it, she's holding 7 beach balls under the water, right? And that's what repression is like. You're making that shadow, holding it down until you get distracted, and then poof, they all come up at once, right? So it feels like this Five of Cups, there is some emotional pain here. There is some loss, but there is still one cup standing. Usually we see this in the Five of Cups, not the Four of Cups. I think I might have even called it the Five of Cups because the imagery is pretty much exact. But she's also sitting at seaside, so this might be coming in waves, right? It's maybe not a constant... What would you call that? Not necessarily a flash flood. That comes in really fast, but like a flooding. This is more like ebb and flow, ebb and flow, ebb and flow. So we got 2 water cards on the table already. One for the one who crosses you, unless we're flip-flopping here with a cross watcher. And there in the core, I love this in the past. You are coming from a place of strength within yourself, a great place of courage. You know, and of course in a general read I can watch all of those threads, right, going to all of the different people watching this reading, and in so many different ways it plays out. But the feeling of all of it, it's almost like, well, fuck that, I'm going to do what I got to do. I'm going to follow my heart. I'm going to follow my path. It feels like you might have walked away from something that it took courage to, or in other words, something you went through, something that prepared you for this is what I'm saying. It might be a whole other relationship. Obviously in the externals, when we get the Mythic Tarot on the table in the extended, we'll have much more of a look at what that is. But it's your first major arcana card here, and this is definitely you. This is definitely you having the temerity, right? The balls, if you will, to kind of do something, right? To know your own heart, to know your own honor, to know your own bravery, your own courage. Courage comes from the French word of the cœur, the heart. But, you know, following your heart when you're like this, see, I'm just wondering how this person plays in. Now, again, I said this may not be romantic sexual, an addict and a teacher. I mean, I really don't prefer teacher-student relationships. We all teach each other and we all learn from each other. That's really the truth. Like people standing next to you online, right? Well, not that we stand next to people online that much anymore, but you know what I mean? People at Starbucks, whatever. You never know what those reasons, season, or lifetime's lessons are of what we learn and what we teach. And honestly, with me, it's funny because I'm like, I could be either one of these. I'm literally in this moment doing that, which leads me more towards the addict archetype right now. But let's keep going. Something else will explain that. What's going on here? Now, what's hovering here, I think I get this. What's hovering here is we're crowning the situation, right? Hasn't quite hit. Is the Three of Pentacles, Clay Woman. There is definitely a feeling here that there is potential for a solid foundation in this relationship, but I think this person, whoever this person is, taught you something that now you're kind of like really, really sure. And what I mean they taught you is maybe they were abusive. Maybe there was neglect here. Maybe there was something that they taught you through their own shadow, something that you still, that means you two miss each other. And you might very well be going, well, is this an addictive pattern? Oh, fuck. Got it. Yeah. What is this feeling? So sudden and new. Sorry, I just went wicked on you. Wicked all over the place. Look, this could very much be, that's what's circling here. Oh, fucking Mercury retrograde. We're still in the shadow. It's very, very possible that there is an idea looming of, if not a new beginning here, a coming together to really kind of make a solid foundation. Now, Path of True Love, however you want to see that, every now and again we have to start over. And it feels like this is where you're coming from. That this card of courage here, of strength, that you really had to rein yourself in here, but this person's still in your energy field. And they are either hiding shit or there's a codependent thing on their side, and therefore you're really like watching the signs, thinking about this. Am I caught in something toxic here? Now, by the way, relationships deliver the lessons that the divine would have us learn. So that's why I'm not so afraid to be vulnerable that much anymore. I'm also 52, honey. I came out of the closet in 1984. And if you didn't know I was gay, you better check those batteries in your gaydar, honey. Bring it back to Radio Shack, except I don't think Radio Shack exists anymore. Amazon. Yeah, no, what's hovering here is this Three of Pentacles. I love this card. This is my favorite minor arcana card in this deck. Clay Woman takes the dirt beneath her feet, sifts it, right? Sorts it, the mud from the clay, and then sculpts it into something beautiful and practical, but this has not gone into the fire yet. Do you see the kiln, the K-I-L-N over here, right? Going into the fire, that would harden it. So it's almost like, I want to say like mentally, there's something manifesting here in the air. You're picking up on it. And inside of you, there is this just feeling, I'm telling you, both of you share. And if you identify as an empath, and I don't mean that annoying kind of empath, I mean you are feeling other people's emotions and energies in your cell tissue, intuitive empath. You're feeling this and you're like, is this me? Is this them? I was being really, really brave here. Why the fuck am I feeling this? Right? What's going on here? And it's about, well, maybe we could don't know what this means. Maybe we could sculpt the claim. Maybe next week. Because I think this might be on a losing streak because conflict comes. There is a conflict a-coming. All right. Now, Four of Flames is not necessarily like the Four of Wands that we see in traditional tarot about celebration and engagement and blah, blah, blah. No. This is two archers facing each other but fueled by the fire of one dragon. There is something going on here that needs to be resolved. Yes, it will move it into the Five of Flames, right? The Five of Wands. There's definitely stuff that needs to be dealt with here. What I feel like really is this is one fish says yes, one fish says no, and sweethearts, I understand, right? I think you do miss this person. I think they really do miss you. I think there's a very, very strong empathic thing, and trust me, when we get those oracles, you might want to check this one, because if you know any time in a Celtic Cross, the 6th position, whatever is immediately in front of you, not immediate future, but down the road, I call it what's before you on the path, you can change this. I don't think, but hence you're already thinking about this, but I think you're going to get really, really clear on what the conflict is, either in yourself or what is conflicting between you and this person. Because that's an intense fire. It's like a passionate stalemate. You both want each other, but you've both got your arrows drawn, and it's that energy between you. Now, I won't go so far as to say, twin flame. This is not a twin flame card. Twin flame, the new definition of soulmate and twin flame, check the description box below. Makes way more sense than everything I've heard on the subject since I read Soulmates by Jess Stern back in the 80s, God help me. Right? Spiritual codependency for fun and profit, right? No, this is you really, really facing. This could totally be a conflict between your second chakra and your third chakra. Your second chakra saying and your solar plexus, your third chakra saying, I can't do this. I won't do this. If this is toxic, I'm not gonna take this courage and run it into something that I know is not good for me. This could be to walk away. Sometimes the challenges on the path of true love, they offer you everything, but it's cardboard. It's only a paper moon hanging over a cardboard sea, muslin sea, cardboard muslin. Set design. This is really intense going on inside of you. Now, again, depending on what is going on the outside, does that come face to face? Your lesson, though, is temperance, darling. Temper. Now, I have two metaphors that work really well for the energy of temperance. One involves cooking. One involves iron working, but both work, right? If you have a recipe that you have to temper eggs, right? Usually you have to put eggs in some other kind of liquid. You have to warm it slowly while you beat the eggs. Otherwise you will get scrambled eggs. Great for, egg drop soup, which is one of my favorite things on planet Earth, with just the right amount of soy sauce. So good, right? A little soy, a little duck sauce in there. So good. But otherwise it will curdle, right? So you temper it. You add the warmer liquid ingredient gradually, raising it to temperature slowly. But when you temper metal, when you temper iron, there are so many videos on YouTube. I totally ASMR all over them. They're so good. Oh, there's one that I follow, Awesome Restoration or Renovation. He's got tattoos. He's like Norse. He's beautiful. He's just beautiful. I love him. Right? Well, they take these rusted items, axes, whatever, and, they treat them horribly, right? They dip them in acid and electrolysis, or they hook them up to electrodes. But then, when they get it clean, they put it in a furnace, 9-10 billion degrees, whatever. They take it out and then they douse it in oil, like usually motor oil. That's called tempering. That is a long, hard process, right? But it makes you stronger. So I feel like the two major arcana cards on the table here, where you're coming from, what's behind you, right? That card of strength. Right now, it's like, watch your words. And I feel that too. It's like this conflict coming up. It is going to be very hard for you to not get triggered by this person. Your anger in particular. Frustration, rage, wrath, the deadly sin of the heart chakra might totally be involved in a Path of True Love read. You're going to have to really temper that. That's your lesson, because you can't tell if you're feeling them if you're feeling you, and that do take time. And then I think that's part of this conflict as well. From the outside looking in, oh, this feels like your wish fulfillment. This feels like contentment. This is Kuan Yin, that you can do this in a compassionate way. Now, I want you to remember, Pisces, 2 fish. The metaphor I'm about to give you, one of them is not technically a fish, right? Well, neither of them are, I think. Dolphin and shark, right? Yeah, they're aquatic, but I don't know, water mammals? I don't remember. My mother will be so angry at me right now. She is a teacher, and she taught us all this stuff, like driving around to aquariums all over the world, right? Well, not all over the world, all over New York, at least. Eastern Seaboard. Kuan Yin. You might very well have compassion for this person. Look, if every addict was really given healthy compassion, sometimes ruthless compassion, to say, I love you, but this will not go on. I love you too much to watch you do this to yourself. I've said it. But Kali is the face that Kuan Yin uses when people don't get it with the softness. Sometimes you do need the lightning bolt, the ruthless compassion, tough love. But I do know how that feels, right? When you're in a toxic situation, I think this is part of the conflict. From the outside looking in, this feels like, well, okay, I get that meaning of it too. But it feels like this is not just something that you really want, but that this is something that could work. Not a 10 of Cups, but in that place of just easier. I mean, 9 of Cups is called the wish fulfillment card because it's for you, right? It's not the 10 of Cups that shares with somebody else. But with Kuan Yin there, it's definitely saying go with the flow. So there might be a part of you that's like, from the outside looking in, let's not make waves. Accept this conflict inside of you, right? Don't ignore that. Doesn't mean you have to rip the person's head off. Gut them like a fish that you are. Your fate and destiny is obscure right now, although the card of the moon also speaks of deep intuition, and how could I forget? I'm talking to Pisces here, right? Your destiny, there is no logical thing that you can get right now from the divine, except that you need to feel your way through this now. They just gave me. If you are dealing with an addictive pattern, that either this person is symbolic of, or there is a codependent bond here. This is saying you have to look at your emotional stuff because you're not seeing clearly. And are you feeling deeply enough to know that no matter what happens with this in your past, that you will endure it, whether you choose, right? Whether you analyze this as something, no, I'm going to be compassionate, I'm going to give this a shot. Again, this need not be a romantic sexual contract. That's, I think, we'll find that out eventually, you know, we hope. But this is saying, the card of the moon, that there are a lot of secrets going on here as well. There's a lot that's hidden, a lot that's occluded. I love that word, occluded. It's good for your lips, occluded. You know, but the path is always under your feet. The spiritual path, the path that you love, is always under your feet, but it's really hard to see. But if you go to the seaside or any body of water when the moon is full, it reveals itself. But it's not like it's only there for that second. It's always there. You're going to have to navigate your way through this. How you hewn, another great word, how you hewn destiny out of your fate here is by feeling your way through this, not just trusting your intuition. Intuition and self-esteem are 2 sides of the same coin. Just remember, self-esteem is a verb, not a noun. It's something you do. It's not something you have or don't have. Everybody has the ability to esteem themselves and estimate themselves, right? Evaluate themselves. But is it toxic evaluation, right? This is going to be like, okay, no, my gut is telling me this. Because if they are really hiding shit from you, if they are not being honest about their feelings, like Queen of Cups is a beautiful card. I love Scorpios. Some of my dearest friends are Scorpios. I got a lot of friends, zodiacally speaking, I guess you could say, at a distance, but I could call them like that. My friend Mark Winland, twice nominated Tony Award a set designer, right? Weeks can go by. We call each other, we pick right back up. There's always that depth of connection there. But if they're not sharing, if they're toxic, if you suspect that they are dealing with an addiction, yeah, Pisces, compassion is a big word for us. All 12 signs exist within Pisces, right? We're the last sign of the zodiac. We've incarnated through all of that stuff. In my case, emotionally, believe me, I can relate to anybody. And that's why my sympathy and my compassion is great. But I'm not going to sit there and watch you do that to yourself. It's something I had to learn the hard way. I've walked away. I've ended things. And I've had people really fucking lie to me. So, you know, there are times where I didn't want to believe it. So there's some sneaky. I don't see, well, let's say, the Seven of Swords. Let's say. Oh. Now, luckily, in this deck, the Three of Swords isn't heartbreak, it's focus. It's getting to the heart of the matter. Now, this might be an obsessive focus in your mind, or really wanting to get to the heart of the matter in terms of what the fuck is going on here. It's totally me. Like, yeah, my gut is telling me something. My gut, I can feel it. It's leading me in a direction, but I want the receipts. I want proof. I want to know what is going on here. So I think you are in a mysterious, well, Path of True Love is a mystical path, but I don't even think in that sense. There are plenty of readings that I do with this particular spread for clients. Celtic Cross, I've been doing it longer than anything else. That this doesn't feel that way. This doesn't feel purely mystical. This feels like there's still an emotional connection. You're both fucking missing each other. Maybe this is a toxic thing, but look, a lot of relationships are toxic that once you bring your healing process to yourself, loving yourself, all the stuff you know you gotta do anyway, then the relationship becomes a foundation. Now, this is where twin flame and soulmate would come in. In a twin flame, you're helping each other heal. You'll get over it. Right? It's just, that's the foundation of soulmate contract, regardless of shape or form. Twin flame, you teach each other you teach each other how to heal each other. Though you may love each other, you cannot give each other the love that you want, but they will often give you the love that you need. And that might very well be for you a sense of compassion, but also with distance, because there is a conflict going on here, or at least one coming. I think you sense it. But navigating through that Straits of Gibraltar, darling, that's tricky. I've been reading way too much revised Greek fiction. I'm still doing the Song of Achilles, and I found another version of Circe. But I'm a little bit Madeline Miller obsessed right now. She's amazing. And she speaks ancient Greek until they come up with the Rosetta Stone. For that and Verbis Diablo. Penny Dreadful. Look, as far as a Celtic Cross goes here, there is no immediate answer to this. This is the path of true love for you. It is a mystical path. It involves the divine. This is the divine trying to break away the excess marble to reveal the divine statue, the divine creation within you, right? Releasing, conditioning, healing, and addictions are part of this. But I have to say, overall, the vibe that I get from this is that this is about you. Let's do an element check here. So Spirit, we've got 1 major arcana card, 3 major arcana. So 3 out of 10, that's somewhat balanced. How about air? 1, 2, you got 2 air, 1 fire, 3 water, and 1 earth. So you've got all 5 elements here. So I don't feel like this is like, oh, it's a general read, man. If someone's like stealing your shit and using it to buy drugs, that sucks. That sucks. I don't know if that's true though. But what I'm feeling here that's most important is from the outside looking in. Like if somebody else were to look at this, he would go, I get why you want the wish fulfillment. I get why you want what you want with this person. Even though in a general read, if this is a family member, what you want, your wish fulfillment here is going to be very, very different from somebody else's if this is a lover. But what I love this, and remember your strength, remember your courage. Yes, follow your heart, but that doesn't mean you follow your heart, yes, is important. Follow your gut, though, when it's screaming something's off. Trust me, something's off. Yeah? So, let's put this together. May the Piscean collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, watching this video, receiving this reading, be blessed with all that they need on the path of true love. February, March 2021 are timeless. That they may remember the strength that they have, and whether they are the addict dealing with their own patterns, analyzing it, thinking about it, is this me, is this them, or they are dealing with it within somebody else, that they may really have the power to figure that out clearly, dealing with this teacher archetype with Scorpio that may well be healing things from them, perhaps their true feelings, and perhaps something much darker than that, because within them, they're both unaware of that. They're both sad. They're both missing each other. They're both kind of bored. Anywhere from bored to depressed on this, and both at different levels. So that this idea of a solid foundation, whether it's the Pisces' own solid foundation or one with this person, to begin taking things, molding it into clay or not, really depends. What will they do with this internal conflict within them? May they recognize, acknowledge, respect what that conflict is. Getting that their lesson here is about temperance. No immediate action is necessarily externally. This is about doing the work internally, because there is a lovely thing here as well. It's how it feels. That's why the confusion, the conflict, because they're just not supposed to know right now. Help us all, because we're not supposed to know. What's the point of being a hero on the journey if you know how the journey ends or what's going to happen next? So that their outcome with this Three of Blades be not so much about heartbreak, although if that's on the table, then that's going on here for both of them. But that they are able to get to the heart of the matter with clarity, with understanding perhaps of addictive patterns in place here that they are recognizing and confronting in themselves in this teacher archetype with Scorpio. All of that, some of that, may they all be blessed, may they all heal. Twin flame or soulmate, may this soul contract on the path of true love be blessed with all that it needs, so that not only may the Piscean heal, the teacher archetype heal, but may all involved and all of life be healed with love, with compassion, with temperance, with time, for the well-being of all. So would it be. And so it is. Remember, a lot of addictions are hidden, right? And a lot of people don't even know they have them. That's how hidden they are. Rough read, but I think very, very hopeful. Very, very hopeful in terms of who you are through this, right? And you get to choose. And I love being a reader. I never tell people what to do, but I can certainly read the signs when I see them. So if you liked it, thumbs up. You want more, subscribe, comment, share as you like. And Words of Grace is coming to Amazon. Hopefully tomorrow, crossing fingers. If not, you will see the links. Get it when you can. It's a good book. It saved my life writing it. And it's helped a lot of people from what I hear who have read it. If you want to come tarot party with me, links below. Otherwise, wishing you all the very best and the very blessed of the path of true love, February 2021, or timeless whenever you are watching this. Hail, my fishies. Farewell. And blessed, blessed be.